Crime is a show where I, Rich Slaton, read a true story about lawbreakers.
With his milk missile shooting impregnator co-host, John Shefsky.
Milk missile. What do you mean specifically by milk missile?
I don't even know where to begin trying to explain to you things like milk missile. If you don't know after podcasting with me for this long,
we haven't addressed all the terms yet. Is that like an aerial cream pie?
Sure.
Play the music.
Crime is the show that starts now.
Oh, like right now?
Oh, yeah, do your line.
Okay. Each week, Rich reads a real crime story. I don't know a word that rhymes with story.
And my homie John always has the hot riff. He really loves it when you send...
Don't send anything to me. Don't you dare.
crimepodcast@gmail.com.
Don't you send anything.
Label it John Shefsky. He loves them. Make sure the lighting's really good.
What's up, criminals? This is nice. Shefsky and I back in the same room together to do a regular, traditional old episode of Crime, the show that we do together. And sometimes, guys, we haven't seen each other in a couple of weeks, and I don't know all your terminology insurance, and you can go to our buddy Joe Erle at C3 Insurance.
Sure. We do it together.
C3 Risk and Insurance Services. Guys, as you might have noticed, sometimes your rhythm is off because everything's different. You're in San Dimas. There's light coming through a window.
Oh, it's beautiful, right? We're not in a dungeon today,
Your co-host
folks.
is wearing a beanie for some reason, even though it's in the mid-70s.
It's very cold inside my house.
And with all these things happening, sometimes things go by the wayside. So why don't you call our buddy Joe Erle at C3 Risk and Insurance Services, c3insurance.com/Joe, or call him up 619-233-8000.
8,000. That's
Yes.
8,000s.
That's a lot of thousands.
That's a lot of thousands.
That's 8 of those numbers.
I've never commented on how many thousands it is, but today
it's 8 of them specifically.
I felt that like it needed to be said.
Joe's an insurance broker. Specifically, he's great at insurance for your small business, especially if you work in like the marijuana business or the dick business, because he does dick insurance. We're pretty sure. So go ahead, call him up, and if you get a policy with him, what's he going to give you, John Shefsky?
He's not going to give you John Shefsky. He's going to give you $25 to Amazon.
That's right.
In a gift card form, and you should insure your dick.
Yeah, most definitely.
Do it.
There's a lot of problems out there for it.
Do it now. Just make it safe for your family. If something happens to you, you want them to have your dick.
Now, let's say that you already have or don't desire insurance for anything whatsoever.
Tell them that Shefsky sent you. He loves me.
How else should you use your money? Well, we also have a good friend, Ketelson from A Piece That Remains.
Your loved one day, and you want to remember them, and you're kind of into art, and you want to hang them up on the wall. You want a painting with your grandpa. Call up D at A Piece That Remains.
Also, we're wearing the same color underwear per our podcast advertising agreement with D. Ketelson.
A couple dudes wearing purple underwear.
Hell yes.
Doing ad reads for you, D.
Go to apiecethatremains.com. A-P-E-A-C-E that remains.
You can spell it either way because she's got both the domains.
Really?
She's very smart. At A Piece That Remains, she buys both the domains.
Are you sure?
You can even spell it A Piece That Remains like the lettuce.
I don't think
you can't do that one.
Don't do that one.
D, you need to get more domain names.
You can go to A Piece That Romans, like Pax Romana.
Don't go to the Piss That Remains, though. That is a website I do not recommend.
A website we do recommend is our Patreon, patreon.com/CRiiME.
We actually got some new subscribers recently.
Yeah, come on in, dude. Guys, it's fine.
I'm still trying to find out how to look at and see who the newest subscribers are so we can shout out to them. Do you know how to do that, Slaton?
Probably, yeah.
I've looked at it. And
it says it very clearly on
No,
the
it doesn't.
thing.
I keep looking at it, and it'll say like the amount of subscribers, and I'll be like, whoa, we got new subscribers. But I can't see.
You should click more than one thing on the page.
Okay. We need that kind of insurance.
Guys, today's guest, we're really excited about it.
This is going to be great.
We haven't had this guest on since
we first started.
This
is like a big thing.
Since the beginning, in fact. So please put your virtual hands together for nobody. Yeah, when we first started doing this podcast together, it was just the two of us. We can make it if we try. And then we had our good friend Sandro Yocolano on, and it changed everything.
It made it so much fun because I wasn't alone with Slaton.
Yeah.
It's very hard to just be by yourself with Slaton. You got to ask his wife.
We are making way too much eye contact right now. It's starting to get uncomfortable.
We're sitting across from each other.
Yeah.
And
there's no one else to distract us from our eye contact.
We normally in the recording studio we sit cat a corner. So if I'm looking forward, I can look forward at our guest and I can look at you, but there's places to look, and then you're looking at nobody or whoever's in the engineering.
We actually don't sit cat a corner. We sit perpendicular to each other.
Isn't that cat a corner?
No, cat a corner would be like two opposite corners.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, we sit perpendicular to each other, guys. That's what I was telling you.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said. Totally.
It's a word, Slaton. It's got many meanings.
Celeste Johnson
Ooh, that sounds like a sexy porn star. Celeste Johnson from the 80s. She
was
was hot.
born on February 13th, 1963.
A February baby?
Yeah.
Oh, I love February
Why
babies.
is that more?
Well, first of all, we got Valentine's Day.
Okay.
We got Black History Month. We got Chris Rock's birthday.
Yeah.
And we got my birthday.
Great.
So I'm a huge fan of February babies. What's up? Shout out. We're not all criminals, though.
1963, somewhere in Southern
The
California.
year that John F. Kennedy was murdered?
Her exact birthplace
Did
is
you say
unknown.
California? The place we both live? Born? We were born. Slady, this story's got so much that we have in common. We can really relate to this criminal.
Her exact birthplace is unknown because
Did she come out of a vagina?
Not that I'm aware of.
That's why she's a criminal.
I couldn't
if you were
verify
not
it.
born, if you were pooped out of a butt, you're gonna have some problems. It's a tough life.
No one knows her exact birthplace because 2 days after she came into the world, Celeste was adopted.
Oh, I thought you said abandoned. Okay, adopted.
Her new father, Edwin, had a tough life. His younger brother drowned in a river as a baby.
As a baby.
His dad blamed himself for leaving the stroller unattended.
Oh, a real Johnny Cash story, huh?
So he shot him. I would say more of a Eric Clapton story if we're going to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny Cash's brother died when he was young too, and he said he had that guilt like his whole life. And then Eric
Oh.
Clapton's son fell out the window, right?
Edwin's not so guilty, though. His dad felt guilty for leaving the stroller unattended, and hence baby drowned.
This is a story. This is a really great story for us, Slaton. Two fresh dads.
Two fresh dads. So Edwin's dad shot himself when he was 7. When Edwin was 7.
That's really abrupt the way you told me that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a lot of story to do.
But you said it with a smile, and you looked me in the eyes when you said it.
Well, I know things make you giggle.
Yeah, they do.
When he grew up, he joined the Air Force as a mechanic, serving in Japan. Is that how that word's pronounced? After
It is
World War
now.
II.
Mechanics. Sitting can a corner from Slaton, talking about mechanics.
There he met a missionary who turned his life around with the help of God.
Oh, yeah.
He returned to the States and settled in Ohio, where he met Nancy, a telephone operator.
Ohio. There. How you doing? Oh, hi.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Oh.
Nancy,
They
a
could have named it,
telephone operator.
Oh, what's up, oh. That would have been a nice state.
That would have been a lot. Oh, yeah, it's good to see you, I guess so.
I went to college in Oh, what's up, oh.
He returned to the States in Ohio, where he met Nancy, a telephone operator with horn-rimmed glasses, a large bouffant hairdo, and a stern attitude.
Ooh, hot and sexy. She had those pointy bras of the 60s and those glasses.
They married in the mid-1950s and moved cross-country to the sleepy Southern California beach town of Camarillo.
Camarillo, I think it's pronounced.
It's right up the road from us.
It really is.
Well, not from
far.
you, because you live, I don't know where this is.
This is, okay, I don't know why this seems so far to you. It's not
It's
that far.
San Dimas.
Listeners, I'm like 20 minutes past Pasadena. It's not that far. And it's
20 minutes past Pasadena would be, first of all, a complete understatement.
that's
of how
why
the
I spell
distance is.
Pasadena with a T.
And number 2, this is so far away, it hasn't been in a movie since like 30 years ago.
But what movie was it in?
I know, it's a great movie, though.
Right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you only could be in one movie with George Carlin, I mean, it's perfect, right?
Yeah, and the third one's supposed to be coming out is currently in pre-production.
Listeners, if you're scratching your heads right now, wait, let me just tell you what we're talking about. Bill and Ted.
Whoa! They married, they moved to Camarillo. Edwin opened up a Volkswagen repair shop, which was very successful. They decided it was finally time to fill their home with kids.
Fill their home with kids.
But after 6 years of marriage and 3 failed pregnancies, they were still unable to have any children of their own.
Did these guys just start kidnapping kids because they couldn't have their own kids?
But luckily for the Johnsons,
But luckily.
there was no pill and abortion was illegal.
You said, but luckily for them, because
So there were plenty of unwanted children. That's lucky, right?
I get
For them.
I didn't know where you were going with that, but yeah, it
For
makes
them,
total sense. But luckily, there was a bunch of abandoned children. and
Unwanted, unnecessary,
nobody pulled
shouldn't
out.
have happened.
Oh yeah.
Between 1962 and 1966, they adopted 4 kids. Nancy was very protective of her status as their mother. As they got older,
That's what she was protective of?
Well, hold on.
Oh,
She
I didn't
refused to let her kids see adoption papers, even telling Celeste's brother that his mom was a prostitute who only gave birth to him because she was offered $5 not to have an abortion.
Okay, so this lady is telling her adoptive kids that their biological parents are scumbags?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be real good for your kid and your relationship.
What's
with
wrong?
them. Nothing. Go on with your story, Slaton.
You know what I like about this too is that God told her 3 times you shouldn't have kids. She was like, well, then I'll buy some.
Do you take that as God, like if you can't get pregnant, like, well, I guess God doesn't want it?
Well, God was definitely telling this lady.
Okay.
Religion played an important part in the Johnson household.
But God told them that they could buy some. They're like, hey, I had money in my account.
You know,
Someone
when
had
God closes a vagina, he opens a window. You know? That's what I've heard.
I want that on a shirt.
Religion played an important part in the Johnson household. When the siblings were toddlers, Nancy became obsessed with a Bible passage about washing away sins.
Oh, so they took a lot of baths. Their water bill must have been crazy.
So during bath time, she held all 4 kids underwater.
Oh, like till they couldn't breathe?
Yeah.
So they were Baptists, but like, like, what do you call that? Like,
Drowntists?
Drowntists?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unofficial Baptists?
Look, I think it's pretty clear that God says you can't be cleansed of your sins unless you die underwater for a bit.
He's talking about like inside your lungs, like the whole areoles or whatever. They need to get washed.
She was sent to a psychiatric hospital and treated for addiction to diet pills. When she came back, the couple doubled down on their commitment to God, sending the kids to a private Christian school. Celeste quickly stood out as a great student and a model citizen. Cute and sharp, Celeste charmed everyone from a young age. She was polite and sweet, and always decked out in her favorite color, pink. She baked and made get-well cards for patients at the local hospital. She always obeyed the rules at home, making sure to never step out of line.
But then she like murdered like squirrels or something like that? 'Cause
She loved the rules so much that she developed a habit of manipulating her siblings into causing trouble. Then, as her mother got angry, she would run to fetch the wooden board Nancy used for spankings.
She was a fascist, sadistic narc. Oh my God, this is awful. Okay, go on. Little Debbie over here. Celeste.
Despite their issues, the family held it together until the mid-70s. With the appearance of the Honda Civic, the Toyota Corona, at that time the Corona.
They call it the Corona?
I guess so. And the Ford Pinto.
You know they also call it Corona? The beer, the thing around the sun, and the thing around your frenum on your penis.
It's either it was the Toyota Corona or I miswrote it as Corona and not Corolla. It's one of those two possibilities.
Okay.
And the Ford Pinto, with the appearance of those 3 cars, the sales of Volkswagen's Beetle plummeted, and so did Edwin's business. After the shop went under, he went to college on the GI Bill, forcing Nancy to support the family while he studied speech.
Oh, nice.
Suddenly, the family was out of money, and the kids were forced to attend public school. I know, right?
They have to go to public school?
Yeah, with people who bring their own lunch.
Do you know people that went to public school? I think I went to public school.
Yeah.
And look at me.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here
I
with
see
you.
what you did. I went to public school, I went to a good one.
I think I went to a good one. I feel like people cliche always
I'm pretty
say,
sure you
the
didn't.
schools there are really good. And
Just on knowing you, I'm pretty sure you didn't go to a good school.
Thank you. Just on knowing you, I feel like you went to a private school where they washed the happiness out of your childhood, you dick.
No, I went to a public school that was good enough that it was like a private school.
Yeah, that's bad.
Where all the people there spoke with the Queen's English and such.
Oh, gross. You went to finishing school for douchebags?
My grandmother tried to make me go to a boarding school after I graduated high school.
I went to boarding school, bro.
She wanted me to go to boarding school in Scotland for an extra year.
Oh, really?
And I was like, I'm 18 now. I'm definitely not going. I'm going to go do drugs and have sex. I'm not going to go to a place where I would do the same thing, but with only other guys there because I'm not into it.
I feel like you could do drugs and have sex a ton in Scotland and it would be just as good, right? Scotland.
Possibly.
And you'd have head cheese.
I've never had Scottish drugs.
You'd have haggis.
Ugh.
Haggis is good.
You're a monster.
What's haggis made out of? Is it stomach?
Yeah.
It's like menudo.
Suddenly the family's out of money.
It's Scottish menudo.
Edwin
Bloody.
got weirder and weirder, growing out his beard and changing his name, or starting to go by the name Jedediah.
Jedediah, not Jebediah. Is this another typo? Jedediah Corona. Jedediah Corona Corolla. This is a fact by Slaton.
In 1977, they began a bitter 3-year divorce.
Good for them.
Celeste did not take any of this well. She began to take it out on her siblings, beating them up so bad that people in the neighborhood regularly called the cops.
How old is Celeste at this time?
Teenager.
Beating up her siblings? Like physically hurting them? Bruising them? Making them bleed?
Yeah, coming off the top rope,
That's fucked up.
Little turnbuckle action.
Who does that to their siblings?
Table match. They ordered her to counseling after she put her fist through a window.
Whoa, tough. Like a Black Flag album cover.
Eventually, Nancy asked her daughter why she was so angry. Celeste replied, "I'm just trying to get your attention."
Oh, wow. What's her IQ?
I don't know. They didn't write it down anywhere in this book.
Okay.
By high school, she found the attention she was seeking
Oh, sorry.
from boys.
Oh, Celeste. Yeah, and with a name like Celeste. Mm-hmm. Is she hot too?
She's for the time period,
yeah,
pretty smoking.
Yeah, so she comes from a broken household. She's hot and she's sadistic and smart.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be a good story.
It's gonna be a fun.
Go on with your stories, lady.
She was beautiful with a long swimmer's body and a well-crafted mix of flirtatious and innocent with a touch of a wild side.
You said catered. I started thinking of catering, like
Crafted.
Like
Yeah.
barbecue and a bunch
Every
of
once in a while typos.
Okay.
At 15, she met a boy, Craig, at a bar.
That's such a funny name to give a human.
Craig?
Yeah, like name a Shih Tzu Craig. They'll name a human Craig. You know?
What?
Right?
A Shih Tzu named Craig? Hey, Craig, fetch.
I never say fetch to Shih Tzus. But like be like, come here, Craig. You want to eat? Like
Sit, Craig.
Yeah, Craig's funny as a dog name, but like as a human,
No.
you're like Craig.
I feel like Craig has to be capable of playing video games. And
Well,
dogs can't
then
do that.
Name a smart dog, Craig. I'll split the difference with you.
Soon she was skipping school and hanging out at his house, smoking pot and making out.
Oh, she sounds cool. Sounds like someone I hung out with at high school, and I went to a good school.
By sophomore year, she was barely showing up to class.
See,
She had him
school's
wrapped
so
around her
good, you don't
finger.
even have to go.
My school was so good, they didn't even take attendance.
Yeah, why would you have to share? Like, yeah, obviously they're not doing something right if you have to go.
They didn't
all the
need to
time.
give us books.
Yeah.
They just said things and we learned.
It's like teach a man
think.
to learn, and then like he learns for a lifetime. But like if you just give a man learning, he's always going to school. It wastes a lot of time.
Yeah,
You know, it's
that
like the
makes
old saying.
sense. She had Craig wrapped around her finger, getting him to believe everything she said.
Of course, if your name's Craig, you're like, oh my God, someone's talking to me. I'm
getting to make out.
Yeah, I'll do whatever you say. You are my master. I am your submissive. My name is Craig. Like that dog over there, that's properly named.
When she told him her boss at a pizza place had sexually harassed her, Craig confronted the man, got hit with a hammer, and later discovered she'd been lying.
So she did that just to watch Craig get hurt.
Just to
So
see.
she is sadistic
just to
and
stir
crazy.
some shit, dude.
Be easy on Craig.
Craig at a party, she kissed one of his friends, then yelled to Craig that his buddy had made the move.
Oh,
After an argument, she took his truck, totaled it, then wore a fake neck brace and told everyone it was broken.
oh my God, she's crazy.
What do you mean? What's wrong with that?
This is hilarious.
It's just a Halloween costume that you
Oh,
wear
dude.
and also use to blame other people.
I would like to see Craig's personality too. Like because I've known people in relationships like this where you're just like, dude, get out. It isn't good.
Good movie, though.
Oh, the movie Get Out?
Yeah.
No, but I'm talking about like telling your friend, like, get out of this relationship.
Why?
You know?
But she's probably good at stuff.
Yeah, she's hot. So and Craig's just like, it's the only woman that's ever loved me, and my name's Craig, you see?
Of course, she didn't confine her lying to her boyfriend with her parents' divorce still ongoing. She testified in court that her father had once stabbed her. When his attorney asked where, she pointed under her eye and explained, here, but the scar disappeared.
Oh yeah, and still the scar remains.
Except it disappeared. And so that's how stabbings work, though. You get stabbed in the face and then it goes away because it's all fine. I'm just young.
Yeah, you know, you want to get stabbed in the face because you can't see the scar. But let me tell you
Yeah.
something, the emotional scars, they remain.
A few weeks later, Celeste's fun and games all came crashing down when the now 17-year-old discovered that she was
Pregnant?
with child.
How did I guess that?
Of course, Celeste was shocked, telling her friends that a doctor had told her she could never get pregnant. She dropped out of school, and on December 6th, 1980, her belly swollen with twins, she married Craig.
See, speaking of God wanting, you're like, so God wanted this crazy bitch to have kids?
Oh, clearly.
It just doesn't make
Specifically
sense.
so we could do the story one day.
Oh, thank you, God.
Thank you, God.
Thank you, God.
Appreciate it.
You are so good, Hashem.
Seriously.
I don't know what I'd do without you, Yahweh. Hey, Allah, you're the man.
The couple moved into a small apartment in Oxnard and gave birth to a pair of girls.
A city named after the nuts of a special strong cow.
Less than a year later, the marriage was already in trouble.
Of course.
They bounced from crash pad to guest house to dad's place and back again. She regularly split on the family, only to come back and blame it on her tough childhood.
Oh, so she's like a real you see, the reason I do this, she's very smart, so she uses the psychology against us, the outside world. So we feel bad for her. We empathize. We go like, she did have it pretty tough, and I heard she was stabbed under her eye.
I feel bad for her.
You do right now?
Yeah, right now. I feel so bad for her, man.
But you already wrote the story. You must know what she
I totally
is.
feel bad for her, dude. Everything about this story, it's like, yeah, totally bad, man.
That's a sarcastic Slaton.
Their fights got bigger and bigger, a lot of it because their sex life was dead.
Oh, of course. And listeners, take notice. There's things you can learn from these stories, like not to get involved in crime,
Sure.
or if you are getting involved in crime, how to, like not brag about your counterfeits and that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
Right? And also, water the grass in your relationship. And that means keep the sex life good and everything else will follow.
Yeah. Also water your grass. but only on off days.
That's right.
Don't do it every day because there's a drought.
Do not get the homeowners association pissed at you.
And definitely do it at night. Don't do it during the daytime when the sun burns the water off.
No, what you should do is get a driving mower, and either the man sits down and the woman mounts him as they do the lawn.
Also, xeriscape is a good idea too. If you're in an arid climate.
What is that? What's a xeriscape?
It's like when you put cacti and shit out there.
Oh, I
in the
love
grass.
that.
Yeah.
You get the indigenous like plants.
No, put cacti out there, even if you're in like Maine. You
Won't
know,
survive the winter, my friend.
how do you know?
I just know about Maine.
Fair enough. I know about cacti.
lobsters, and the word Maine is used all the time.
But she was having sex, just not with him.
Oh, that's the worst. Listeners, take note that I'm just joking. Go on, Slaton.
Craig did 4 months in jail after he discovered her in bed with a lover and held them at gunpoint.
Oh man.
She visited him inside, then ran off with one of his fellow inmates who got out early. Wow. When he got out, she regularly called the cops to report abuse, like the time he broke her arm. But that one didn't stick because her daughter had seen her mom purposely slam her own arm in the car door until it broke.
Oh my God.
What?
The mental strength to break your own arm. That's like
I know,
that James
right?
Franco movie where he cuts his arm off to get out of the rock, and you're like, no, there's no way you could do that.
Celeste is pretty badass, man. She is just like James Franco in that movie.
She slammed her own. I would have thought of something like a little easier, like he made me stub my toe, and then you stub your own toe.
He kicked me in the shin. See the bruise?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Right? So
No, she goes full tilt, bro.
She's
There's no halfway crook.
She broke her own arm.
Yeah. You never done that before?
No. And I
Well,
know
how'd
you haven't either.
How'd you get out of test then?
You're holding the microphone with such gusto. There's no way that
I'm holding it in my right hand. My left hand, because you can see, is just
But
sitting
you're caressing
here.
your thigh very gracefully, and you can't do that if your tendons have been severed.
This
and the bones
is my foreleg, not my thigh.
Go on with your story. Are you a fucking anatomist now?
18 months after they were married, Craig and Celeste finally got divorced.
Finally. God.
She got custody of the twins, who she regularly dumped into foster care for months on end.
And what happened to Craig? He just moved on and just started dating a woman that was nicer to him?
She began dating another man.
His name
Stole
was also
$7
Craig.
grand from him, got him to forgive her, got engaged, borrowed more of his money to run an apartment, then split, leaving him with no cash and a year contract because she'd moved to Arizona with Craig. A lot all happened in that sentence.
Wait. So her and Craig got back together while she was dating somebody else.
She
is crazy.
got divorced, started dating another man, stole $7 grand, got him to forgive her. They got engaged, borrowed more of his money to rent an apartment in his name, then split and left him with the contract while she went to Arizona with Craig.
Between her brains, her manipulativeness, her ability to give herself pain to lie about things and break her own arm, and her being hot, and the fact that she's boning all these dudes all the time, she must be incredibly, incredibly good as a sexual partner.
Oh, without doubt.
Right?
Yeah, that's the whole point of the story.
Oh, thank you.
My
My pants are getting quite tight, Mr. Slaton.
I can see that. Will you please close your legs, sir?
You don't want to see the knuckle of the moose?
We stop man-spreading here. There's not enough room in that computer chair for just one of you.
I don't have the programming to understand the term manspreading.
She got pregnant again and immediately put that kid up for adoption, telling the new parents they needed cash to pay the hospital bills.
You know, ugh.
They gave her $10 grand and the bills were covered by insurance.
Dude, she went through she went through pregnancy. You and I both know how crazy that is for a woman to go through pregnancy, and she just gave up the kid and just like adoption. Oh,
It was worth the kid was worth. I mean, it was $10 grand.
What a horribly person! I'd like to see a picture of her naked, but other than that, what a horrible person.
I could get you at least 7 for the new one. At least 5 for the old one.
Do you think Joe Erle would insure our baby trade organization?
Oh, probably. It would be a small business.
It would be small, right?
Yeah.
We could get see-through risk.
Yeah, I mean, we'd only be selling 2 children, so
that's just for starters. It's like when you buy your
where do we get the other?
You rent
kids
out
then?
your own house at first before you start buying other properties.
Is Mrs. Shefsky down to start creating more so that we can really get this? It's a growth market, I think.
To be honest with you, no. But if I tell her that she can get a Target card every time she has a new kid, she might be into it.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
In she left Craig and dumped the kids in foster care again. In 1988, she began dating Harold, an Air Force mechanic, but he quickly moved to break it off. That's when she told him she was pregnant. They were married, and soon after, she informed him that she had tragically lost the baby.
Oh, man, she's tragically just a total liar.
Within a year, his promising Air Force career was in shambles as he fell apart dealing with his new crazy wife. Between standing in a bathtub with a hairdryer threatening to drop it, and injuring herself and calling the cops to report abuse, she had Harold going nuts.
Yeah, of course.
Luckily for him, He was ordered on a year tour of duty in Iceland,
Oh,
and
thank
the Air
God.
Force determined that Celeste wasn't allowed to come due to her disturbing psychological record.
Good for them. That's why you join the Air Force if you're in a bad relationship. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
They will save your ass.
Yeah, I've joined the Air Force 7 times. They keep letting me out, which is really nice of them, by the way. Basically, if you're trying to break up with someone and you don't have the balls for it, just join the Air Force.
Join the
real
Air
quick.
Force.
Yeah.
You can fly an F-16 and get away from your crazy partner. Whether you're a guy or a girl, you can get away from your crazy partner. Join the Air Force.
By 1990, Celeste was on her own after the girls were taken away by Child Protective Services.
So Celeste is now in her 40s.
She was born in 63, and she's 37.
Okay, she's 37. That's the same as being in your 40s, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
basically.
she's in her 40s. It's the 90s. She's listening to Nirvana. Green Day just came out with an album. The Berlin Wall came down.
Mostly NWA,
The
though. That's
chalupa
her
was
style.
invented. Yes, the 90s.
She had a brand new Ford Thunderbird courtesy of an insurance payout from her stolen Ford Taurus.
And she spent it on a Ford car. Well, I'll see you at the mechanic's office.
Of course, soon after, the cops found her vehicle in the desert burnt to a crisp.
Oh, see? I told you the battery's got faulty wiring.
She went with a friend to check it out, and giggling as she admitted that she'd burned it for the money.
I knew someone that kind of said that under their breath, and I was like, you did? And they're like, no.
There was a guy in my high school, I think I said this before, a guy in my high school tried to hire me to steal his brother's car so they could do an insurance scam.
Yeah. I've had people talk to me about that stuff too, and you're just like, what?
No.
Yeah. I wonder if when we were asked in our life on the other sides of the state, like wherever
Yeah.
we were, if we said it in sync too.
At the exact moment.
Like we said it the same way.
And that's when the universe began to pull us together.
It conspired.
Even with the iPad, I don't always have my place.
You need
A few
digital
weeks
thumb.
later, the friend received a call from Celeste, who was staying at her house, to inform her that someone had broken in and robbed the place. The cops took one look and knew it was an inside job. The friend had
inside
no idea who it could be.
The cop put the cigarette out on something. He's like, it's an inside job.
Ow! Carl, can you stop? Get that off of my arm. No, seriously, I'm going to hit you now.
You don't want a scar? You ever see Fight Club?
Well, at least do it on my face so it doesn't actually stay.
That's a good point. Here you go. Right under your eye, right? That's the best place.
Okay, that's much better. Thank you.
Oh, it doesn't hurt when it's happening?
No, not in the least. Don't you know faces are impervious to pain?
I had no idea about that. That's not true.
True. Come here. Let me cut your face real quick.
Ow. That's very unforgiving of you.
In 1991, when the same friend refused to return a dog Celeste had given her son as a gift, she called the cops to report them for the insurance fraud related to that same robbery. The friend admitted that to inflating her losses, then added that not only was it Celeste's idea, but also told them about the burnt car for the insurance
So Celeste
scam.
she's so wacky that she's getting herself in trouble.
Yeah.
She's like angry, impulsive and angry and crazy.
I'm telling
Like,
you
I'll
right
call the cops
now,
on you, even if it gets me in trouble.
This is all preamble.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've had that trouble before, a little preamble.
Soon they tracked down a storage unit in her name and found the stolen items. When the cops confronted Celeste about the car, she laughed and she admitted her crime. In the end, the friend was prosecuted for insurance fraud, but nothing happened to Celeste regarding the burglary.
Why?
Shockingly, I don't know. I actually don't know why.
She have sex with a judge?
Probably. Shockingly, she was soon
I'll be the
married.
judge of that ass. Let's see if it works. Clap those cheeks.
She was surprisingly soon married again.
Did people clap cheeks in the 90s? Was twerking like, it feels like twerking was only recently invented.
It hadn't been appropriated
Like
yet.
you can't imagine like,
It was underground.
yeah, like in the Civil War, like no one was twerking.
You go to like a basement somewhere in Harlem, people would have like twerk offs in the 1990s.
You think so? So
Yeah,
twerking
yeah.
was around in the 90s, but like it wasn't around like in the medieval ages.
You're like you walked out basement with your hands wrapped and you're wearing like a tank top. You walk in and you're like, "Oh, I was here to fight people. I didn't realize that you guys had
It's
underground."
a twerk off.
And that's the moment that changed Mike Smith's life. He was going to be an underground cage fighter, but then he discovered a talent for making that ass clap.
I think it's funny that twerking was invented by a dude.
No, he didn't invent it. He was in New York. He was in Harlem.
Oh, okay.
He meant to go to an underground cage fight in the 90s.
Oh.
To fight his way, to earn money, just so he could pay for his kid to get braces, right? But then he goes and he accidentally takes one extra subway stop, thinks he's at the proper basement for this fight competition, and he goes in, and there's a dozen ladies all violently ass clapping at each other.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
And he was like, "Look, this might be more dangerous than underground unregulated cage fighting, but I love my son, and I see a future in this." And that was Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Dude, you are a genius. The only problem, found a hole in your story. You said it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
And you said he was trying to get his kid to pay get money to get his kid braces.
Yeah.
And braces weren't invented until 2011 by Kanye West. Yeah.
Fuck.
So
He was trying to get his kid leather jogging pants?
you're an all right liar.
Fair. Shockingly, she was soon married again, and she and her new husband moved to Austin, Texas.
Yeah, where the barbecue is good and the music
That's
is even
true. The
better.
barbecue is good in Austin, Texas.
I haven't been there, but I've heard that it's comparable to Bloodzo's, which I have had many, many times.
Of course, the same patterns emerged: fake abuse, financial fraud, mounting debt, but things soon went south. And then Celeste met a new man.
It's like maybe Celeste should start meditating or something like that and just like get an exercise routine and start her day off with the miracle morning, right?
As a note, that guy she married and moved to Austin with was named Jimmy.
Okay.
I realized I forgot to write his name in.
Jimmy Craig Corn and I don't care. Jimmy Craig Corn and I don't. You like I put Craig in the song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stephen F. Beard Jr.
What's the F stand for?
Fucking.
Don't even ask me, motherfucker.
was born on November 27th, 1924.
Oh, he's way older than her.
in Dallas, Texas.
She's boning this old dude?
After serving in World War II,
Yeah, seriously?
he had a wildly successful career in TV and radio ad sales. He had a huge house in posh North Dallas, complete with a pool and putting green.
Ooh.
He married a model, Elsie Adams, and they had 3 wonderful kids. He had a 300-acre ranch and a 25-foot boat.
Oh, wow.
In
How big was his penis?
35 feet. It was kind of frustrating that the boat was only 25.
He's like, I can't get a boat bigger than my cock.
But what he did, so here's what he did though, was he got like deep sea fishing rods and extended them out the front to give his 35-foot dick like an extra perch.
Yeah.
And so you know how some boats have like old like pirate ships would have like a lady with boobs out in the front? That was the tip of his penis.
Okay.
For their boat.
And then like would he like take out like a bunch of his business buddies for like fishing, deep sea fishing trips like on his dick?
Yeah.
Like he would just take them out and be like, let's go find some tuna.
Well, when they get drunk and fall in, he'd be like, "Don't worry, guys, I got it."
He's
And
always
then-
annoyed, like he's always having to talk to the captain, like, hey, like I need you to.
He's the captain. It's his boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like if you're that rich though, you don't captain your own boat. You hire.
No,
a
if you're that
captain.
rich, you call yourself the captain because
I
you
guess.
are the captain.
But you could call
even
yourself
have a
the
captain hat.
but you'd still hire an actual captain to handle because you don't want to have to remember.
You'd hire a lieutenant.
Yeah, and you have him just
A lieutenant.
manage everything. A lieutenant.
Yes, exactly. By 1986 he negotiated to make. Oh, in 1982 he bought a stake in an independent television station in Austin. By
steak.
86 he negotiated to make it Austin's Fox affiliate.
Ooh, brilliant.
Mm-hmm. He led a good life, wealthy, with a loving wife of nearly 40 years. The only thing growing faster than his bank account was his
dick.
waistline.
Oh, okay.
No, his dick's already big, dude.
But that's why when you said it's growing, I mean, it's like the economy. Like it's either growing or it's going bad. Like there's no,
Dick's, yeah,
you don't have a stagnant dick.
there's no stable dick.
No, you need the graph to just be showing that your dick's
That's a good
always
point.
growing and then there's always progress, right?
As he neared 300 pounds.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're that rich. Don't you want to live a long time to enjoy your wealth with your family and your
You're
friends?
that rich, so you don't care. You're like, I'll eat everything except people will still bone me.
Yeah, but then you're going to die from a heart attack. Don't you want to live and enjoy your money? You can buy submarines. You could buy rocket ships. You can have a virtual reality. You can have a hockey rink inside your house. You could have a room full of puppies in your house. I know people that like that. I mean, you could do so much stuff that you wouldn't want to die. You'd be like, I want to live to be 500 so I could like fuck a bunch and eat the best sushi ever. They might not have invented the kind of sushi that I'm going to love in 200 years. If I die now, I won't even know about the weird sushi.
He and Elsie spent tons of time at the fancy Austin Country Club, where they paid the membership fee of $50,000 a year.
And ate too many carbs.
It was there
Cheese bread, I'm sure, right?
that he met a young waitress
Texas toast.
named Celeste Johnson.
Oh, so Celeste is being a waitress now.
At first, Celeste had no chance. Steve was one of the good guys, thoroughly devoted to his wife. But then everything changed when Elsie passed away from cancer in 1993.
Oh.
Steve was lonely.
We got to fight that disease, guys. We got to keep walking these
He
5
hated
days.
returning each night to an empty home. So he decided to hire a house manager.
What's that? The way you just did the quotes with your fingers.
That Christmas,
Can I
Celeste's
hire one of
husband,
those?
Jimmy,
Will my wife get mad?
left town to visit family.
A house manager? Babe, she's a house manager.
Yeah, the uniform is naked. You
They-
didn't know that?
they
It's legally
clean-
required.
They clean the whole house, including my pipes.
That Christmas, Celeste's husband, Jimmy, left town to visit family.
Jimmy left town to visit family. Jimmy left town to visit family.
When he got back, she had already moved out of their home and into Steve's.
Oh, wow.
With all the debt she run up in his name, Jimmy was happy to accept the divorce.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, thank God. He's calling his buddies. Like, you guys want to go see a movie or something like that? I'm free.
Seriously, you guys want to get sushi for the first time ever? Because I now don't have to pay for all her bullshit.
And then his friend's like, well, you can't really afford sushi right now, bud, because you're broke and you're in a lot of debt. And they're like, but guess what? I'm going to buy you sushi because you're free.
Yeah! Do you want us to go eat raw fish? Oh, you're buying me sushi. I was going to say, let's just go fishing and then bite into it. But now that you're going to buy it for me, that seems like a much better option.
I wouldn't want to go fishing because I'd be like, dude, I'm never going fishing again because it reminds me of my ex-wife's new man whose dick is a boat and people go fishing off of it. True. So I'm never going fishing.
Before long, the house manager job faded away and she was simply his live-in 40 years younger girlfriend.
Sounds like a good plan.
By 1995, they were married. But even he was cautious, getting a prenup that gave her at most $1 million if they were still married when he died.
And he's got like $100 million. So it's just like, yeah, I'll give her some money to buy an apartment in New York, but like, that's it.
After the honeymoon, one of the twins, now living with mom and her new man, noticed as her mother ground pills into her new husband's food.
Oh, she's evil. Oh, she's so evil.
When she asked what they were, Celeste replied, sleeping pills. I can't stand being here all night with that fat fuck.
She said that to her kid?
Yeah.
This is a horrible person.
I don't know, man. I mean, you gotta be honest with your kids, you know?
Yeah, give him some melatonin and tell him that you're giving him that. Don't fucking put pills in his food.
Within 4 months, things began to go awry.
You think?
First, she overdrew her bank account. Then Steve discovered tens of thousands in debt that she had hidden before the marriage.
Ooh, finances.
Finally, Steve went to get something from a safe deposit box where he kept Elsie's jewelry.
And guess what?
It was empty.
Oh, gross. She stole the man's dead wife's jewelry?
When the bank informed him that his new wife had
bitch.
emptied it out, that was the last straw.
Oh, yeah.
Steve ordered her out of his house, changed the locks, and hired a divorce attorney.
Oh, what a broken heart for Steve.
But, like so many times before, Celeste was an expert at getting taken back.
Oh, manipulative.
3 months later, he withdrew the petition.
Really? Oh. He's vulnerable.
This all seems like it's going to work out well, right?
Oh, I'm already worried about this guy. He's
After
alive right now,
losing
right?
nearly everything, Celeste needed a plan. So she convinced her husband to sell his house and build a new one, under the guise of wanting a fresh start in a home that didn't hold the memories of his dead wife.
I mean, that is a pretty decent argument. So if you're
Yeah.
going to manipulate someone, that's the kind of thing that, yeah, totally.
In reality, she knew that if he died, his kids would get the house. But if they had a new place together, it would become community property,
Yep,
and she'd get paid.
And he had to have known this too, but he's also falling for her. She's an actress, dude.
Yeah,
she's
dude.
clearly an actress.
And she's hot.
No offense to any actresses listening to this. I know we have a lot of Hollywood and New York listeners. So,
Yeah,
But you guys are trash.
Yeah, totally.
Trash people.
They
or
moved
what do you
to
say, garbage people?
Garbage people.
And
yeah.
a lot of my friends are actresses, so
Yep.
and they might be listening.
Sorry
so
about the way you smell.
I'm so sorry about that. You are garbage, but I love you.
They moved to a beautiful house by the lake, and Celeste spent her days shopping like it was a competition.
It is a competition, right? It's called Keeping Up with the Joneses.
Sometimes spending $50,000 in a day.
What the hell could you buy? Yeezys? What can you buy? Spend $50,000 a day on?
We'll get there in a minute.
A couple cars, I guess. Cars.
Well, no. Oh, that's quaint.
Jewelry?
Yeah, we'll get there. No, we'll get there. She continued grinding up sleeping pills in his food, which of course came from the dented and bulging cans she specifically sought out at the supermarket.
Wait. Mm-hmm. She's trying to get him the worst cans. So she's angry and sadistic at him. Like, oh, he doesn't even deserve a nice can.
Well, she's trying to get cans that maybe have food poisoning in them.
Are you serious?
That's kind of my theory.
Yes. No, you're right.
Yeah.
That's
so weird, huh?
Ugh. I'm
That
assuming
was
she doesn't wash
supplemented.
her hands before fixing his dinner.
No, she wipes first, then
Oh, God.
yeah,
This,
of course.
This evil lady.
That was supplemented by secretly replacing his nightly vodka with Everclear. She jokingly called her new cocktail the Graveyard.
Okay. And this guy doesn't start to notice, like, man, I get really sleepy after...
Well, I
mean, he's a Texas millionaire, so he probably...
really would have thought a salad would have been more invigorating than this, but
Well, I'm just going to say that salad is for boring poor people, honey. Are you a rabbit? Do you want to eat like a rabbit, or do you want to eat like a rich Texan?
hey, why does my vodka taste like Mexico?
Why does my vodka taste like Mexico?
It's the only place I've ever had Everclear is Mexico, I think.
I don't think I've ever had Everclear. I barely even listened to the band.
Yeah. Yet there was some happiness in the house. By now, both twins were living with Steve and Celeste.
Oh.
Because their father, Craig, had killed himself.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah, yeah.
depressing. Craig had killed himself?
Yeah, and his family thinks Celeste talked him into it.
I forgot that Craig killed himself. Did you just tell me that?
I just told you that now.
Oh, wow. That's really depressing.
You did forget. You totally forget a thing you hadn't learned yet.
Well, because I always forget stuff in stories anyways. But
Sure.
then because who else killed herself? Didn't her dad kill himself? No.
Her dad's dad killed himself.
Her dad's dad killed himself.
Yeah,
Okay, her grandpa.
So now they're both living with Steve and Celeste in their own wing of this big new house.
So Steve's kids are already grown up and they're living on their own.
Steve's adult kids, and she's like cutting him off from the adult kids.
And they're probably always trying to tell him like she's crazy, Dad. We don't trust her. And he's just like, no. She's this and that.
She's like, no. But she's got a vagina though.
He's probably not saying that. He's like, you're just saying that he's just a horny old dude. He's also probably lonely and misses his wife.
That might be a thing too.
So now he has a different wife and he doesn't want to be alone.
And she has a vagina.
Well, of course. I mean, you have to have a vagina. You can't come to the table with nothing. Am I right, folks? I have a penis, you have a vagina, or you have a penis and I have a vagina. Someone has to have something, right?
We both have penises. We both have vaginas.
Right.
You know where to get vaginas on the black market.
Right.
You know, that sort of thing.
Or we both have vaginas and we're just a couple of just lesbian truckers wearing flannels and just watching together on Thursday nights.
Or wearing a nice pantsuit.
Or wearing a patsuit.
Or wearing Umbros.
Or one of us wears the overalls and like a backwards hat and like fucks the other one with a strap on.
Or little black dresses.
The other one just dresses like a regular old school chick.
Or soccer uniforms, which is also Umbros. I said that already.
Two transgender dudes that are also lesbians.
Yeah.
Transgender dudes.
Yeah.
And they both dress the same way and share outfits, but they're just great dudes. They get the job done, right?
Or I have a vagina factory. Okay. And you're like, hey man, if you don't bring vaginas to the table, I'm like, well, you're in luck, sir, because I have a warehouse full of them.
But what if you say, well, now I'm not excited because it doesn't have that much value because you have a vagina factory. They're not scarce. They're everywhere. Now I need you to bring something else to the factory or to the table.
Well, luckily enough for you, I also have a dick factory.
What if I'm like, I want some sort of genitals that that we don't even know about, like aliens would have?
Well, good for you. I have a squab factory as well.
A squab factory? Is that a Rick and Morty term? A squab?
It's a different type. It's a genital you're not familiar with
Can
yet.
You describe it physically for our listeners?
Already.
I already know what it is, but our listeners would want to know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So, you think of genitals in binary terms, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a male and a female.
Yeah.
One goes in, one goes out.
Yeah.
Right? But what if genitals were both of those at once? What if it was both in and out? That's a squab.
I'm having a hard time visualizing it.
I know.
But
well, okay, so think about like when you go to a foreign country and the plugs are different.
Oh, that's what you say the first time you see a squab. You're like, oh, the plugs are different.
I should have brought my adapter.
When I'm in Mallorca, the plugs are different.
Will this dude cause a surge in my laptop because I didn't bring the proper adapter for this squab?
Then the guy on the phone at the concierge desk is like, sir, I appreciate you using these innuendos. It will probably cause a surge. Is there anything else I can bring you, sir? Or send up some tea or some new blankets, an extra pillow?
There was some happiness in the house, but now the twins live with Steve and Celeste in their own wing of the new home, although Celeste did not allow Steve into the girls' wing because it was improper for a man to enter a young girl's quarters, even their father. Of course, the reality was that Celeste didn't want him over there because that's where she hid the extra purchases and the mounting credit card debt.
So the kids they know, the kids are keen. They know their mom's a psycho.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so she has like all these credit card bills. Mm-hmm. She has 4 P.O. boxes that she's not told him about.
4 P.O. boxes?
Yeah, where she gets like different credit cards. So she has like the same credit card 4 times for 4 different addresses.
I mean, it's just starting to sound like a healthy American marriage from the 60s.
Still.
This is in the 90s, right?
This is in the 90s, yeah.
Okay, this isn't
Steve
good for the
loved
90s.
and doted on his stepdaughters, even with things as simple as driving them to soccer practice by himself. He attended most of their games. Of course, Celeste never showed. He eventually even decided to adopt them.
See, this guy sounds like a really nice dude.
I think he sounds like a piece of shit to me. Adopting children, we all know that's just code for slavery, man.
Yeah, trying to adopt him. What's next?
Loving them, caring for them, feeding them,
giving them hugs on Thanksgiving,
helping them get an education.
Yeah, paying for their college.
He and Celeste also had a fairly active sex life. Despite his age, they got together once a week. Of course, he was only able to get erections after she gave him injections into his penis.
Injections?
Yeah.
It seems like that's the kind of thing.
Like before Viagra, you just had to inject your dick with stuff.
My penis would see the needle coming at it and it would shrivel up like a turtle and suck back into my throat.
Yeah, but once they got that juice in you, bruh,
I can't imagine putting a needle into my cock.
I can. Imagine putting a needle into your cock.
Well, please don't. That's intrusive.
That's all I'm thinking about right now.
It's intrusive into the...
Now I'm thinking about 2 needles that cross each other.
Oh my God.
Now I'm thinking about 4 needles. Now I'm thinking about basically like acupuncture.
Dude, stay out of the Akashic Records.
Acupuncture?
Acupuncture? That sounds kind of fun.
Eventually they switched.
Acupuncture or something, man.
Eventually they agree with you and got tired of the needles in the dick, and they switched to weekly blowjobs.
Oh, it sounds so hot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even get weekly blowjobs. Just kidding, I do.
As she told a friend,
No,
quote,
I don't, man. I need a blowjob.
Don't look at me like that.
I need you. Look at your mouth on that microphone, and I'm just like, if you just,
All right, here's what I'll agree to this. I'll here's a trade.
You're gonna suck my dick for anything. I can't even believe that anything's gonna be. Go on.
Yeah, but I have to put needles in it first.
I'm learning to take yes for an answer, but
it's the only way.
Not put needles
it's
in
the
my
only way I do it. You don't know this about me, but I'm down with giving blowjobs.
It's called the voodoo job, man.
But only if they already have needles in them.
I've got to poke the dick, man.
Yeah.
The voodoo blowjob.
Yeah, that's my style.
That sounds like I know people in the piercing industry and like the body modification industry that would think that is arousing, but for the rest of us regular squares, meat and potato fuckers like myself, that's terrifying.
Well, I'm just telling you right now is that if you will let me do a crisscross pattern of 7 to 13 needles.
Baby, let me do a crisscross pattern.
Yeah.
7 to 13 needles.
Yeah, we can make this happen.
Then I'll suck your dick.
Yeah, that's my standard.
That's the song too.
That's a song.
That's a good standard.
As she told a friend, quote, every Sunday I go make some money. I call it the Sunday Suck.
Oh my God, I love that term too. The Sunday Suck? You're listening to the Sunday Suck.
Hey, everybody. You're listening to the Sunday Suck out here in San Dimas, California.
This is the Sunday Suck over here in Los Angeles, California. Syndicated Suck, we call it.
Of course, she still got hers regularly meeting up with her ex-husband Jimmy for a roll in the hay.
So she's cheating on this dude and sucking this other dude's dick? Dude. This is like a very arousing story, and this lady's evil.
Yeah.
It's like watching a horror movie where you're like, yeah, but there's like knives and people are hurting each other, but there are some boobies.
Sharon Stone, circa when this was happening, would have been perfect to play this.
Totally.
Right?
She still would be perfect to play this. Sharon Stone's a magnificent actress.
Over the next 3 years, Celeste spent around $400,000 just on decorating their new home.
Oh my God.
One purchase.
What do you get that's $400,000? A gold toilet seat?
Well, hold on, man. I have details.
Oh, please, details.
One purchase, a bedroom set, including a $4,000 four-poster bed.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a $4,000 poster. I was like, is it that screenshot from Dumb and Dumber where they're riding up the mountain on the...
Is it a Blacklight Tupac poster? Because seriously, I would pay that much.
Dude, I would love that. If you had the money to buy that and you did.
A $4,000 Blacklight Tupac poster?
But then you just framed it like without getting the frame actually custom made. I'd be like, dude.
Or you just you just thumbtack it to the wall.
You thumbtacked it?
One purchase, a bedroom set, including a $4,000. It's double-sided though, man.
I know, but
it's made for posters.
It just looks ghetto.
A $4,000 four-poster bed wasn't all that unusual.
What does that mean? It's got the posts.
Yeah, the 4 posts.
Like it looks like a princess bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what was unusual was the custom-ordered matching bed for her Cocker Spaniel.
Okay, that is weird.
Which cost $3,000.
That's so dumb. It's a dog. I love animals, but like it'll sleep anywhere.
Matching bed with matching sheet set too.
It probably won't even like the bed.
She once spent $7,000 in one visit on throw pillows.
Wait, did it say that the dog slept in the bed? Because I feel like, when you buy a cat something that's made for cats and they go like, no, we're still going to sleep on this thing?
No idea.
It doesn't say that?
I don't buy things for cats.
These are the details of the story.
I'm a regular human being.
But this is part of CRiiiME. Those are the details I need to know when you're telling me these stories.
She purchased so many sets of antique Staffordshire dogs that she didn't have places to display most of them.
She's psycho.
Yeah, those are like pairs of ceramic porcelain dogs.
She's gross.
Steve eventually decided that she should have some money of her own, setting up a $500,000 trust for her to spend and invest, hiring her a personal investment specialist from Bank of America.
What a nice guy. He's really trying to keep her. He's really trying to keep her.
It was gone within 6 months.
$500,000?
Yeah.
Is she in the NBA? What is she spending? $500,000? This is all blowing my mind.
How do you buy all of the porcelain dogs if you don't have $500,000?
She's just getting a dopamine rush from shopping.
She did, however, get Steve something nice.
Okay.
For Father's Day, she commissioned a painting of herself with her daughters in the backyard of their new home. Steve's face also appeared in a medallion set on a fountain pedestal in the background.
Weird.
Where it could easily be painted over after he died.
Oh my God.
And she specifically told her daughters, I put his face over there so when he dies we can paint it over and just have a painting of ourselves.
My heart is dropping.
Then
Steve killed her.
Steve discovered the bills and the affair. He was finally ready for a divorce. But if they divorced, Celeste would get nothing.
Yeah.
So she took the pistol from the side of his bed,
No, she doesn't kill Steve.
went to the kitchen, and held it up to her own head, threatening to kill herself in front of her daughters.
And Steve was like, okay, just try to do it over the sink.
Seriously.
Right?
Can you put something down first, like a towel?
Can I cover your daughter's eyes and try to raise them as best as I can after their mom?
Steve pulled up to the house just in time to see his crazy wife load into the back of a squad car to be taken to St. David's Pavilion, which specialized in critical psychiatric care.
Oh, I thought that was a bar or something like that. St. David's Pavilion.
It was there that she met Tracy Tarleton, an alcoholic biologist
Sounds like a
who
fake
specialized in bats.
Hi, I'm Tracy Tarleton from Tamika to Tardos. It's an island.
An alcoholic biologist who specialized in bats
Dude, that sounds like a badass person to hang out with.
until she was fired from the Bat Conservation International for sexually harassing her male coworkers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say bats.
Sexually harassing bats?
Like trying to stick your finger inside badasses. And then they're like, Tracy, get your hand. All right, that's it. You've had 4 warnings. Your breath smells like vodka.
You know they're bat. I can see your membranes.
Oh, that's so
Do those veins go all the way up?
Do you have cock radar, Mr. Bat? She's like sucking bat sticks. Can you imagine trying to hold up a bat and suck a stick without its claws digging into your eyes?
From there, Tracy got a job as a manager at Book People.
Oh, you won't imagine that? You'll imagine putting pins through my penis, but you won't imagine the bat dick suck? You
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah, because I'm not an animal.
A bat blowjob. Doodle-doo-doo. Holy bat blowjob, Batman.
She worked as a manager at Book People until the voices in her head told her to play a drunken game of Russian roulette. A friend intervened and checked her into St. David's the same week as Celeste. It didn't take long for Celeste to discover one more important detail about her fellow patient. Tracy was a lesbian with a taste for straight married women.
Oh, yeah. It's about to get Orange is the New Black, only the dialogue's probably going to be better.
Before long, Celeste and Tracy were alternating between stealing kisses and gropes in secret and discussing their lives.
We should have done this podcast from different locations so I could grab my cock while you're telling the story.
Celeste told Tracy all about her terrible husband
It's getting hot in here.
who controlled every aspect of her life.
Did you say ass?
Aspect of her life.
Oh, juicy aspect?
Within
Oh.
a week,
Oh.
Tracy loved Celeste and hated Steve.
Oh, did they smell each other's panties?
She told her friends about her amazing new lover.
What did she say? Did she describe how they made love? Did they have their did they have bikini shaves or how'd they do their whole things?
Dismissing their advice that she kept in mind, dismissing her friends. So Tracy tells her friends, like, hey, I have this new lover. And they're like, hey, but where'd you meet this person? She's like, at the mental hospital where I'm, yeah, not a problem. I think I'm good with this, though.
Yeah, but again, her friends, just like me at the beginning of the story, is like, oh, you met her at the mental hospital? You guys are probably having a really good time.
Realizing she needed a better environment, Tracy's friends moved her to a facility in Minnesota.
Give me one reason to leave here, and I'll leave this bat hell alone.
Tracy's friends moved her to facility in Minnesota. It wasn't long before
You
Celeste.
had a hard time saying that word.
I did.
So, Minnesota.
It wasn't long before Celeste secretly arranged for both of them to be transferred to another treatment center in Dallas.
So Celeste is gone from Steven's life and hasn't tried killing him?
Celeste is currently in a mental facility.
Yeah. So,
being paid for by Steven.
okay, so that's nice though. I thought she was going to murder Steven with that pistol you were talking
Yeah,
about.
no, that was really that did seem that was going to happen.
That made me sad.
Celeste sunk her claws in deeper, alternating daily between telling Tracy she loved her and refusing to speak to her.
Oh, so now she's manipulating the shit out of Tracy too.
When they were both released for outpatient treatment, they checked into a hotel together.
So they're going to scissor.
They both moved back to Austin, and the affair continued. Celeste assured her new lover that one day they would be able to be together full time. But then disaster struck when Steve planned a month-long $50,000 trip abroad to reconnect with his wife.
Dude, these guys have so much money. $50,000. Like, how much is the hotel? I guess if you stay for a month in a really fancy suite, you could spend $50,000, right?
So Tracy and Celeste began planning.
Okay.
First, they tried making a home brew of corn, meat, dirt, and water, leaving the mixture in a hot garage to get botulism.
Wait, Tracy's trying to murder the husband too? So she's no better than Celeste? So they are perfect for each other.
But someone mistook the jar for fertilizer and opened it too early, ruining the botulism mixture.
You ruined the botulism, you idiot! Close that jar!
Next, Tracy bought Celeste a gift, 10 tablets of ecstasy.
Oh, hell yeah. It's the 90s, right? They're raving now.
That attempt failed as well.
Oh, wait.
So-
She wanted to get...
Mhm.
Wait.
Yeah?
So she gave her Steven
Mm-hmm.
10 tablets of ecstasy. And he's like, hey, you don't have to put the needles in my dick. I'm hard automatically. This is great. And she's like, God damn it.
God damn it, he's so fat.
I have to suck this fat.
Actually, what she specifically said that she was like, he's so fat, it didn't work.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
No way. That's impossible.
What do you mean?
There's no way that you could have enough fat to absorb the ecstasy and you wouldn't feel it. It's going to your brain, bruh.
Yeah, but it didn't kill him. Bruh.
Does 10 tabs kill anyone? I mean, I used to know a lot of ravers in my day.
I have no idea. I've never done ecstasy.
Neither have I, except for a few times.
That failed as well, so finally they decided to do things the old-fashioned way.
Just have a decent marriage and be good to each other?
On October 2nd, 1999, Celeste gave Steve a graveyard cocktail.
I want to party like it's October in 1999.
Messed up the room to make it look like someone had burgled the place.
Burglarized it.
Burglarized it. You're right.
Thank you. I don't forget these things, Slaton. I respect my podcast.
And left the door unlocked. Late that night, Tracy snuck in, pointed her shotgun at Steve's belly.
No.
And fired.
Are you serious? No, she killed Stevie?
Minutes later, 911 received a call from Steve. And now we're preparing for another edition of Crime Radio Theater. And here is the 911 transcript. 911, what's your emergency?
I need an ambulance. Hurry. My guts just jumped out of my stomach. They blew out. Yeah, they blew out of my stomach. They're lying on my stomach.
Okay, they're lying on your stomach.
Yes, I'm in bed. I'm in awful pain.
I'm having a hard time figuring out what happened.
I don't know what happened. I've never had this happen before.
And scene. There you go. So what did you gather from that exchange?
I felt really bad reading it, trying to be funny, because knowing that someone went through that is just horrific.
Yeah, but here's the funny part about that you're not picking up on.
You lied? That didn't happen?
No, this totally happened.
Oh.
Is that he didn't realize he'd been shot. He just thought that his guts had come out of his stomach somehow for some reason. Read the transcript again. Read what he says again.
My guts just jumped out my stomach. They blew out. Yeah, they blew out my stomach. They're lying on my stomach.
My guts blew out of my stomach.
Okay, they're lying on your stomach. Yes, I'm in bed. I'm in awful pain.
Yeah. 911 operator says, I'm having a hard time figuring out what happened.
I don't know what happened. I never had this happen before.
I've never had this happen before. That's what he goes.
So, poor
So like,
guy.
what happened? He's like, I don't know. This never happened before. My guts never came out of my stomach.
But he's like lying there dying.
I mean, yeah, but it's still funny. You know, because he's dead. Because he's lying there and he's dying.
If I'm lying, I'm dying. That's what Tomater always says on. No, he says if I'm lying, I'm crying from Cars.
When police began their investigation, one name came up from 5 of 6 witnesses.
Who? Huh?
A
O.J.
jealous
Simpson?
lover
Oh.
who may have had a motive. Tracy Tarleton.
It's a fake name. Tracy Tarleton.
The only person who didn't name her as a suspect was
Kenneth Kniff from Connecticut.
Celeste.
Oh.
Within a day, cops had the murder weapon and Tracy had an attorney. 5 days later, Tracy was arrested. She told her lawyer everything, including one important detail. That she would be taking all the blame for the murder on herself.
Why? She loved Celeste so much?
But luckily for Tracy, Steve survived
Oh, yeah.
and was released from the hospital.
How? How did he survive? Did he have enough fat? Is this a fat save? Did he get saved by enough fat? Was there a sandwich in there that actually took most of the heat? That happens. A big meatball sandwich. If the bread is thick enough, let me tell you about Dutch crunch bread. It's absorbent and it twists with the bullet like Kevlar. Is that what happened?
And then he died in January of 2000 from a blood clot.
This is a really sad story, Slaton.
Yeah, I know.
I wanted to laugh with you.
Even with murder back on the table, Tracy still kept her mouth shut. Because she loved Celeste so much.
Oh, well, she's a mental patient, right? So she's going to fall for someone that's going to...
Until July of 2000, when Tracy, in custody, opened the newspaper to discover some horrifying news.
What, that Celeste was a liar?
Celeste Beard no longer existed.
What?
Because she had become Celeste Johnson.
Oh, free.
Spencer Cole Johnson was a 38-year-old bartender/carpenter who Celeste met at the 311 Club while bar hopping down Austin's famous 6th Street, home primarily to college-age partiers.
Mm-hmm.
Cole owned little more than his clothes, motorcycle, and truck, so it's no shock that he quickly fell in love with the sexy widow and her recently inherited small fortune of around $3.5 million.
Not that much money, but... and with her spending habits, it'll be gone in no time.
Yeah.
But she's a psycho criminal, so she's just going to find someone else. So this guy's just like her wild boyfriend that she's going to ride for a while.
Tracy finally realized that she'd been duped.
You've been duped, Tracy. Give me one reason to not kill this bitch.
She agreed to a plea deal. She would testify against Celeste in exchange for a 20-year sentence.
Jesus, can you imagine how bad it is that you're going to go in jail for that long, that you're exchanging? That's a good deal. Only 20 years.
That's it. That's not that big of a deal, right? That's like
just 20 years in jail.
Yeah, that's only like a few thousand days.
Have you ever been somewhere for like 4 days? You'd be like, I have the most insane cabin fever right now, and I'm allowed to walk around the town.
Celeste was finally arrested in March of 2002. At the trial, her attorneys trotted out witness after witness to prove that Tracy was simply a jealous lesbian who was angry that her unwanted advances had been turned down and that Celeste and Steve had a great marriage. By now, even Celeste's daughters had turned and showed up to testify against their mother.
Of course.
Which the lawyers explained by saying the girls would inherit less money if their mom was found innocent.
Oh, thanks, but we're not Celeste. We care about what's just and what's right.
But Celeste's lawyers didn't know the real reason her daughters had flipped until it was too late.
Oh, what was that?
The girls had begun to record their phone calls with mother in hopes that when they played them back to her, she would hear how mean and abusive she was towards them. But their attempt at reconciliation would finally expose them to the truth. When during an argument, they caught Celeste on tape saying, quote, "I hired somebody to kill Tracy." Despite the damning evidence, the defense tried to argue that the tape had been edited to make it sound like she was admitted to hiring a hitman to silence the witness. The jury didn't buy it. In 2003, Celeste Beard Johnson was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Good gavel.
She will not be eligible for parole until April 1st, 2042.
That's too soon. That is too soon.
Tracy was released on parole in 2011 and lives in San Antonio.
Oh, she's still in Texas, just scissoring around the neighborhoods?
After all these years...
Eating pussy, eating brisket. That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes I eat them both at the same time because...
it's the only way.
Yeah.
It is just don't eat pulled pork. And
You ever had brisket? It's pretty good.
That's gross.
After all these years...
But all the fat on brisket is really greasy, and you could have a lot of good sex with all that grease.
Celeste and her own mother have finally reconciled.
Really?
Nancy runs a website, CelesteBeardNeedsHelp.com.
Yeah, and everyone just sends the contact thing. They're always like, she sure does. Send.
Where she argues that her daughter's constitutional rights were violated during the trial.
And that might be so, but our rights are violated by your murdering daughter being part of our society, so keep her locked up.
Nancy's book, Trial by Perjury, arguing for her daughter's innocence, is available to download on Amazon for $3.99.
No, I think I'll just go watch the Sam Tripoli special for $3.
Sam Tripoli special. Yeah, that's way better.
Right?
Zero fucks.
Right?
That's the weirdest back-end endorsement, and that's the story of Celeste Beard Johnson.
Oh my God, what an awful, awful person. I can't believe that.
Yeah, we didn't even get into how much of an awful person she was to the way she manipulated her daughters and stuff like that.
I mean, you don't have to.
I don't have to tell you.
You just know, someone that does that to anybody that's, quote, a loved one or whatnot. I mean, to a fellow human being, you know they're not going to be good to their daughters.
Yeah, she was kind of a dick.
Right?
Kind of a dick, yeah.
If the daughters had to go through to record, I mean, yeah. You're obviously not looking out for people's best life if you're going to be...
This was one of those ones where there were it was hard to figure out which details to leave out because there was so much stuff.
Yeah.
It was every other page was oh, that's awesome.
How did you feel after reading about this lady and just being God, this person was out there? And there's, I'm sure, another one right now as I'm writing this that's not yet to be caught, you know?
I mean, I was sitting there going, where were these girls when I was in high school? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for the good sex, but then, the life ruining.
Oh, yeah, that part kind of sucks.
You don't want to get shot in your little belly.
That's a good. Thank you for calling it little. I have been eating better.
You look good.
Thank you, man.
You look good.
Today's sources include She Wanted It All by Catherine Casey, and of course the evil robots at Wikipedia.
Guys, we just want to say thank you to all of our listeners and our supporters, our Patreoners, Al Bamani, who's just a huge part of making the show happen. And guys, can you please go in iTunes, give us some more reviews.
And thank all your moms, too.
Oh, thank your moms. Tell them sorry, then thank them, then say sorry again.
We didn't have a single sorry mom. There was a lot of dick stuff, no sorry moms.
We can have one right now.
Yeah, sorry, mom.
Sorry, mom. But yeah, you can, actually, we should say sorry, mom, because my mom's probably trying to sleep in the other room.
Oh, yeah, I had to hear all those dick jokes.
That's right, she did. And she's probably just sitting in there going my son, he's just a brilliant riffer. I'm so proud of him.
Yes, but his friend is such a good influence on him, though. Such a more responsible human being.
My mom does love you.
I know.
Guys, go and hit the share button if you can in iTunes or in SoundCloud. Just share it with somebody. Give us a 5-star review. If you've got the cash, we do not want to upset anyone's budget if they're broke. But if you have the cash and you can, support us on Patreon. We appreciate it. We're coming up. The more supporters we get, when we get a big enough group, we're going to be able to do such cool stuff. Sticker of the month, the Tesla Club, where you're going to get a Tesla. That's for our very wealthy supporters. We've got artwork. I'm making custom paintings with quotes from the show. Like, we got so much stuff. So when the numbers get high, we're going to be able to really dish out some cool stuff. CRiiiME t-shirts, everything you can imagine. It's going to be great.
Follow us on all social medias at CRiiiMEPod, CRiiiMEPOD. Email the show, crimepodcast@gmail.com. Send us any stories, ideas, questions you have, dick pics, label those for Shefsky. And as always, we love each and every one of you in a personal and emotional way.
And we really appreciate your guys' love and support.
Bye, robot.
Peace out, y'all. Mwah.